This time next week, voters will head to the polls to choose the next president of the United States. The candidates, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, are pulling out all the stops and star power in this final push to the polls. Former Maryland Attorney General Doug Gansler is joining us with a look at whether any of that really even matters. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning.
So we're just 1 week away, and we've seen some really big rallies lately and big names on both sides. We've seen Beyonce, Stevie Wonder, Bruce Springsteen, the Obamas, all on behalf of Kamala Harris. We've seen Elon Musk, Dr. Phil McGraw, Hulk Hogan, all of them backing former President Trump. Does that matter? Talk about the power of public endorsements.
Yeah, I don't think it matters one iota at this point. I mean, I could have told you who those people are going to endorse before anybody endorsed, and we kind of know who that is. I think at this point, everybody knows who they're going to vote for. I think that the most significant endorsement was Elon Musk, actually, for Donald Trump, who's put in $50 or $60 million. Not that anyone's going to more likely to vote for Donald Trump because of that, but that's a lot of money. And so the money is important right now. Endorsements matter in that sense, because the only thing that matters for these candidates right now is getting out the vote.
So do those celebrities help with that? I mean, is that their purpose at this point, just to get you pumped up and energized and reach the young folks? Or what is the purpose then?
I think that is the purpose. I think it's just sort of a validation of their candidacy in some way, shape, or form. It sort of redefines who they are a little bit. Endorsements matter in primaries because the candidates are much more similar. But I think the other endorsement that is very interesting and telling is the lack of endorsement by the Washington Post and the LA Times deciding not to endorse, because that's telling on sort of how scared people are of potentially a Trump presidency. But I think it's all about getting out the vote. I mean, look, if Kelly Schultz had gotten out her vote here in Maryland 2 years ago, she'd be the governor right now. It's very, very important, and I think that's what they should be doing. I mean, I was just in a swing state this past weekend, and it's like a screensaver, these ads. And by this point, nobody's really changed their mind. It's who's going to actually go out and who's going to pull the lever.
We were just showing video while you were talking of Melania Trump at the Madison Square Gardens event. That was a rare campaign appearance for her. Does she move the needle at all on the Trump side?
I mean, subliminally, in the sense that if she's sort of out there with him, it makes people less scared of him and what he's going to do to women and about women, and potentially the choice issue somewhat. But I just really think it's just a show of energy at this point. And the energy, as you said, really could translate into people going to the polls and voting. It's a dead heat, and it's going to be who gets the people out.
Right. So what are we going to see in this final week? Like you said, it is a dead heat. I mean, this could go anyway. And will we know the president on November 5th? Do you think by the end of that night we'll know, or is this going to linger on?
I think in the next week you're going to see more rallies, more sort of urgent statements. Some of these ads are just like outrageous. I mean, Willie Horton looks like that was a subtle thing now compared to what's going on. And so I think it's going to be more of that this week. Not as much in Maryland, though. They have so much money, they're even running ads in Maryland where it doesn't, obviously the outcome is pretty clear. In terms of whether we know that night, it would seem unlikely, but no one really knows. And everyone says, well, she's going to win or he's going to win. Nobody has any idea at this point because it's so close. And so I think it'd be hard to imagine we'll know who the winner is that night, but we very well might.
I agree that it is so up in the air at this point. Doug, always good to talk to you. Thank you.
You too.